They might be extending all the fights in the first invasion, though.
Alright, gents, we should be live.
I'm trying to get my own on too. So hold up.
What, you're live?
I'm trying.
Okay, no problem. Yeah,
Stream key. Copy.
sorry, what were you saying, Dio? Keep going.
Yeah, it looks like Quippy fight is gonna be over next, probably. The only thing left is Ichigo versus, Bankai Ichigo versus Quippy. Whether or not it happens in the next episode is another question entirely. Because it might just go full on first invasion in the next ep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like this my hype is like just drained now, honestly, from this episode.
Damn.
I might just have to make a video just breaking down this episode and how much I dislike it, because it.
You probably would have to.
Because like there's just so much I just did not enjoy about this episode. I like I'm just being blunt about it off rip, because just my score's gonna be pretty bad for this episode. And the sad part is, it's like I want to be blinded by how good everything looks, but I just can't bring myself to give this episode a good score. I really can't.
That's all due to pacing.
To pacing, to the stuff that was cut. And like I said, like I get he has to work within certain bounds, but just that's not it. The things that he cut. My problem is that every significant Oh, sorry, Stasis, did you get up and running?
What?
Did you get your thing up and running?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get audio on my end.
Yeah, I guess I'll hold off on talking about it till.
No, you can go ahead.
I'll do something less serious. Did Kagamaru, the teacher, right? Does he come off like a surfy dude?
A bit, yeah. He's got like the bracelets, he's got the earrings, yeah.
I'm just like, wow, this guy's got his whole character design switched for me now.
You know what's funny is he does actually have the earrings in the manga, in the omake. Oh, Alice is great. In the omake of that chapter, it actually, like, he pulls his hair back and you can see his earrings in the omake. So they kind of just included it this time, which actually is kind of cool. I hope they include more omake stuff. I think the omakes for 1,000 Year Blood War are fantastic. Like, I would love to see the Grammy one. The Grammy one's probably my favorite. You guys seen the Grammy one?
Wait, which one we talking?
The omake. So Grammy is like it's the last page. I think it's the chapter he dies. It's literally like
he tends to do that.
Yeah, he's literally like it's a little dude about Kubo, and he's like Grammy's kind of like whistling as he's walking, and like coming out of his brain is like an entire like galaxies.
Oh yeah, that one.
I love that one.
Oh, actually, I need that drawing.
Is that Kubo confirming that Grammy is universal?
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, I can put it in the chat.
Oh, we actually needed that drawing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I'm very curious to hear what you guys think of this. I really am.
Very curious to see why the hell OBS won't pick you guys up.
I'm hearing you guys picked up on OBS. Man, that's weird. My OBS is running. Did you update yours?
Yeah. Fuck. Have I put that off that long?
Yeah, it happens. Alright, I guess just start with like 3 things you liked about the episode.
One thing start his ear, probably.
The
person who probably should start is probably you, because you're probably the most anti this
Yeah, say something positive about this episode.
Okay. The visuals. I posted the Grammy Doodle in the Thousand Year Blood War chat.
Right?
So I guess three things I liked. Clearly, the animation and the color palettes. It's as stellar as it's been from the start. Can't really bash that. Um,
Work on fucking OBS later.
I do appreciate the things that were added, and I'm trying to say positive things. I'm trying to say positive things. I do appreciate the things that were added that were not in the manga, like this whole thing between Ryukin and Uryu. Um, mm, don't say a bad thing. Don't say a bad thing about it. This is really hard. Holy shit. Um, visuals. There we go. That's all I'm gonna say. Visuals.
Three things.
Who wants to go next?
I will.
I want to get to bash in this episode.
Fuck. The fight scenes were really fun for what they were worth. I like that they included the Ishida archives, because I know we heard about that a while back, but we never got to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised Zayad didn't go crazy about that.
Yeah, he's been rather tame.
And that one dude from Squad 13 who looks like Aizen, but I can't remember his name. His jewelry is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like his piercings and shit.
I feel like he's strong just because he looks like. I know he's a 6C, but I look at that man, I'm like, bro, you're probably like lieutenant level because you look like Aizen.
Bro looks like Soul Society Aizen. I
Six,
saw someone reacting to that, and they thought, "Oh God, this guy's already got. We already know this guy's gonna betray us again."
he's so handsome. He's too handsome to betray someone.
Honestly,
All the
where's
handsome
Momo?
people.
Anyone check on her?
Mm-hmm. All the handsome people in Bleach are villains.
Honestly,
Dio, what do you got? Three positive things about the episode.
Okay, so there are a lot of things. Particularly like the ending, the way Basby comes in and destroys everyone.
Oh yeah.
That's a magnificent moment. The way I know you don't like parts of the quickly fight, but how fast it went, but particularly the visuals of what quickly was doing when he does those big attacks and starts sucking in the surroundings, that sort of thing. That is like really good visual. Very good animation. Like it just looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Appeasing to the guys. And all the I also like how they portrayed Quickly versus Shikai Ichigo, that he was really pressuring that Shikai Ichigo.
Mm-hmm.
The movement and how he attacked, basically.
Yeah, it's.
And even before that, when he caught before he went VS and Ichigo just catches his arrows, that actually looked really good. Like Ichigo was actually just there holding his arrows.
Oh shit, we got Raid
welcome
here
to the
too.
stream, Raid.
Damn it! Now I have to get more positive opinions, guys. Stop showing up. God.
Ooh, let me add Zayad real quick.
No, don't worry. Keep the negativity.
Oh, I already warned everyone. This chat, this is for on my end. This is just gonna be nothing but a bashing session for this episode.
Oh Lord, yeah. I did see you. You had a little bit of other stuff. Stuff
I'm
to say
excited
prior
to
to
see
the
some of the
call.
comments
Yeah.
on this because someone's gonna stroll in. I wonder what Azrael thought of this episode. I really liked it. It was dog shit. Let me tell you, it was absolute dog shit.
That's no, deadass. That's exactly how I was thinking. I was like, No, I actually really enjoyed this episode. I wonder how everyone else is gonna see it. I just see, yeah, pacing's terrible. It's trash. I don't. This episode's garbage, guys. Worst episode out of the three. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it is the worst episode objectively, but it's overall a very good episode. It's just not to the same standard we expect it to be.
Okay. So Alice, since you're here, give me 3 things. Hurry up. I need to get to my bashing. Oh, thank you, baby.
So I really love that shot of Renji. I think it was really good. It's shame we didn't see Komamura.
We got a
It's good.
frame with Komamura,
It's good,
as
thank
we
you.
did with Kensei.
No, I just wanted to tilt Israel even more.
Stop it. I will say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot a positive. We've seen more fodder Soul Reapers than we have at any other point in the series. You see how many,
Except
like,
maybe the Soul Society arc.
do you see how many fodder Soul Reapers actually have, like, shots just to themselves? It's crazy. Like, you have, like, Byakuya center shot, but then he's surrounded by fodder. It's really
Oh,
weird.
Azrael, I got your second positive. We got a frame with Bambietta.
You know, that's not enough to recover how much I hate this episode.
Yo, it's enough for me and Kensei, okay?
Sorry, Alice. Yeah,
On a
tell me
serious
things.
note, I loved Ichigo versus Quilgay before Quilgay goes wall standing. I think the animation actually peaks before that. I loved the compositing, especially the changing of the scenery, where when the Aizen guy is explaining the way, basically recapping the substitution Shinigami arc, the way Quincy's work. I loved how it was like the old Soul Society back in the day, and then once again when Yama and Mayuri talk, again it's like it's the fucking gray sky and everything, like the dressing. And the third thing I would say is I want to give a Ishida Ryukin basic answer. I'll say Baspi's smacking those two fathers into the ground was pretty good. I love the way that was handled.
Yeah, it seems like Taguchi really likes head popping. Like, it's really funny.
Yeah, it seems so.
What
Which
about
makes
you?
me kind of scared for what he's going to do with some of the characters that get zombified.
I know. Oh my god.
3 things for me. Well, obviously, first thing, we got a shot of Unohana.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great shot. I enjoyed it. I need to give it another look around. Just to make sure it was up to par, up to her standards. But that was very good. I was very happy about that. Aside from that, after, let's see what else I liked about the episode. I really enjoyed the way Kilgay's wall stand dig looked, and just him absorbing Reishi. I just thought that was really cool and well done.
Mm-hmm.
The blue looked
Theme
really
definitely
nice.
doing that.
Yeah.
The blue looked really nice. And then for the last portion, I will just say the third thing I liked about the episode just was the hype aspect, I guess. I really was excited watching this episode, seeing the invasion finally start really did it for me. That was really cool to me. I really liked I liked the episode a lot. Had a few good things to point out right there, and then there were obviously some more things I liked, but yeah.
Mm.
So pretty much it's Squad 4 against everyone in this, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
And well, all my reasons for really liking the episode are basically design and hype. So
Yeah, visual. I said it. It's the only thing.
Visual and action.
It's the only thing keeping this episode
Oh
together.
yeah, the action was pretty good. Yeah, I like the action. It's pretty good.
Like you remember when Pain pulled the soul out of that one dude's body?
Yeah.
Like that's what this episode did to me.
So guys, now we'll do 55 negatives of this episode. We're starting with you, Israel.
Yeah, like I
feel like we should save Azrael for last because he's just gonna go off.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna have the negative side just be freeform.
So Stasis, before Israel prepares his essay, you'll go since you were second.
Yeah, sure. One thing I didn't like Oh, so it was during Ichigo, like Shikai Ichigo versus Volstern and Quilge. I noticed that throughout, like, when they were talking about the Let Steel form, there was a bunch of reused animation.
Yep. Yep.
So that kind of took me out of the scene for a bit. But after that, it was still, pretty good. Let's see. The pacing was noticeable at some scenes. I hate how they took out the Yama glare.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I don't really have much.
Why, my lieutenant?
What happened?
Alright. I actually dislike now that Keiichimaru guy is now like a surfy dude, because now I actually picture him being my friend now and not like my teacher.
Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. They took out the lieutenant's meeting, which I found very sad.
Yep.
Because now how will all the lieutenants in this server, actively have meetings if we don't know what to base it on?
Bro.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Those meetings between Yamamoto and even Mayuri was really, really short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're definitely cutting out a lot of things. And I agree with a lot of Dace's brought up. Like the other two things, like they bring out, they don't even have the lieutenant meeting anymore. And they're cutting out all of the Yama things.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the thing I'm most offended about, honestly. It like the way. That's why I said in the chat. I really think Taguchi hates Yamamoto. Every single moment Yamamoto is supposed to have in this first part of this arc has just been either glossed over or taken out.
At this rate, the Zonkin Itachi fight will be like 5 seconds.
No, at this
like
pace,
real time.
At this pace, my favorite fight in the 1,000-Year Blood War is going to be one episode, and I'm livid about
Which one is that?
Kenpachi. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna be
that's not gonna be one.
It's gonna be one episode. It's going to
No
be
way.
one episode.
No way.
You mean like
they could
the
barely,
first
if they did it in one, they could barely like. Oh, it would have to be the whole episode, but
No, think about it.
Israel, you guys are coping if you think it's going to be past 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you. I'm not. No, and Alex might be making fun of it, but I'm being dead serious. I don't think it's going to be as long as it's supposed to be.
You mean versus?
No,
well, it should
look
be
at
two
the pace.
episodes.
Look at the pace of everything that's going on. The entire title of that fight is, not counting the parts where other things are cut in between it at the very start. It's literally 3 chapters. Like straight fight is 3 chapters, including the flashbacks. That's an episode. That's a single episode.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm getting hyped. That's why I'm getting so upset about this, is because like the pacing is so broken.
Yeah, the first 5 episodes, first 5 chapters being one episode makes sense because they got a lot of comic relief, which is basically like 20% of those 5 chapters. They cut out like the Lisa Hiyori part, so it makes sense why it would be like five chapters per episode. But then I expected it to be like the second episode where 4 chapters episode makes sense. But the pacing now, if you go even with the fight scenes, you go 5 chapters. 3 chapters from Hana vs Kenpachi. That might actually be like, even with added stuff by Kubo, that might actually be less than an episode.
I'm not.
It would be absolutely insane if they do that shit. No, they can. No, in less than an episode, Alex. I think that's blasphemy. At least a whole episode dedicated. But
because we talked about this in our episode 1 review, that the pacing of episode 1 should not be the pacing of the rest of the series. And then when we said when we did the review for episode 2, we said the same thing. The pacing was better, but the rest of the war cannot be this pace, or nothing is gonna feel right. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Dio, I'm sorry. Did you finish your 3 negatives?
It's gonna be hard to do it without talking about pacing, which I know you really want to talk about.
That's fine.
But I will probably say that second invasion may actually happen this season. This fall.
There's
If we're lucky, you know.
imagine by episode 10 we're already getting everything but the
Oh my god.
If we're lucky, by the end of this section, we'll get the Grand Duke of Kitty Cats back.
Episode 10, Kenpachi just going Bankai.
Oh, I know. I definitely think in the first core we'll get Kitty Cat coming back.
No. I mean, like, up against, like, Askin.
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh
That
my
would be.
god.
Be hilarious if Azrael's saying the exact opposite, like it's going too slow, the pacing in the third core.
Dog, imagine they switch up the pacing in the rest of the cores. I'll be livid, dog. Because the first invasion is literally like you go to Tomo, you go to DBZ Imran, you go to James, you go to anybody who's reviewed that war. The first invasion terrified everybody because of how good it was. And they're just blasting through it like a Fast and the Furious movie.
I think Kubo is making the same mistake. I felt the same way when I was like, obviously the first invasion is like one of the best parts about Bleach, but the first invasion is very, very short. A lot of the fights are way shorter than they should be, or they're just off screen. So I think Kubo is making, even with like all the extra time, he's making the same mistake. Or it might just be them not listening to Kubo, but I highly doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I never thought I'd be asking Bleach for more filler,
I know,
but
it's
I'm asking
insane.
Bleach for more filler.
I wonder if Kubo is the one that's saying cut all this shit out.
I doubt it.
I gotta wonder. I like I
He
said, and I
is.
don't want to
He
say
has
it's Taguchi.
such an influence, you know.
Yeah.
I would.
Kubo's about to
I would
fire
assume.
someone.
Yeah, he'd be like, wait, y'all got rid of that Yori scene? Fire. Who did it? Who?
I mean, he has
was
such an
definitely
influence that
overseeing Keep going.
he has such an influence that he stopped Taguchi from making the Getsuga purple like he wanted to. So I think that's because Taguchi loves his purple pink.
Maybe he's
That's funny.
maybe he's trying to cut the events prior to the first invasion a bit short, and then so we get a bit more time for first invasion fights that we didn't really get expanded upon. Maybe.
I'll explain why I know that's not true when I get into it. Because there's a massive hint.
Oh,
There's
God.
a massive hint that Taguchi literally just is doing what he wants to do.
Oh god.
Sorry, whose turn is it to bash? Because I'm simmering over here. I'm at like
Mine.
a low temperature. I'm not even fired up yet, dog.
I'll go through this so we can get to. I'll go through this faster than this episode did. I hated a bit of Ichigo versus Kogi in the air. I hated. So this is like callback to the second episode, but it's like related to this because of Yamamoto. I know it was Byakuya talking about a eulogy, but they were like, people in the comments were telling me, oh, it's unimportant stuff, we already knew about it. So it was like, I know it's unimportant in the sense nobody cares about Chojuro, but him achieving Bankai before Jushiro and Kyoraku were even born is pretty impressive.
Yep.
The fact that he never wanted to be a captain and instead remained the loyal vice captain to Yamamoto for over 1,000 years. That kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter that much with Chojuro now that he's dead, but it does give us a bigger impact to what Yamamoto is feeling right now, which is like what Byakuya was trying to allude to in that eulogy.
Yep.
Where he says, mere peasants like us couldn't imagine what our head captain is going through. Which is pretty big words coming from someone who lost his wife.
And that's actually you really touched on it, and that's another thing about that sucks is because like from that eulogy and everything that happens a little bit later with Shunsui and Jushiro, you get the sense that like because we don't know about Yamamoto's family, we have to basically work with the understanding that Chojuro, Shunsui, and Jushiro are Yama's family. So anything that happens between them is supposed to be familial pain, not just this is my friend, this is my coworker. It's familial pain. It's familial pain.
Yep. To add on to that, back in FKT, and probably the only time in the series that I've seen Shunsui be actually angry is when Jushiro is attacked, and then Yamamoto screams out in pain when Wonder Vice backstabs him.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only time I've seen Jushiro and Yamamoto show such emotions, obviously before the war for Yama.
Mhm.
So, I know it's episode 2, but it is correlated with the fact that it just, they're just keeping out Yama stuff. They're skipping out some of the panels. I get what they were trying to go to, where they didn't show his eyes, but it wasn't supposed to be that kind of scene. It was supposed to be us seeing the despair in his eyes and the desperation. And I'm not sure, but I felt like I guess I'll cheat with 4 things. 1, the scene with Yamamoto and Mairi, the dialogue was so fast.
Yes.
It
Yes.
felt just so fast, like they were just blasting through. The voice acting wasn't that great. I know Yama's doesn't have that much. Yama just has to be sad, but I felt like Mayuri should have been like more rude towards Yamamoto because Yamamoto was speaking nonsense in that scene, which makes sense
Mhm.
because of his emotional state. And the 4th thing, chapter 494 was 1 minute 58 seconds long.
Oh, did you check?
Yes.
Oh.
Bro, I swear the second. Oh wait, I can't say that. All these spoilers. No.
What?
The second that Yamamoto versus Big Bad Quincy Man ends, all the problems are going to be, cleared up because Yama wouldn't, because he hates Yama so much.
That's another thing that's gonna upset me. Like,
imagine Bleach anime just becomes 10 out of 10 perfect pacing, 3.5 chapters per episode.
Yeah, he's just rushing to that
after
point.
Yama dies.
what'd you say?
What?
I thought I heard someone say something. Sorry.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're getting more Brave Souls banner or units. If the pacing keeps up this way.
I know. Raid, what's your 3 things so I can finally tear into this fucking episode?
All right, I won't be too long. I'll be quick. I don't really have too many contents with the episode, but let's see if I can find something. Alright, fine. That was good to me.
Come on, there's gotta be something you dislike, Raid.
There's gotta be a few. There's gotta be something. Come on. What did I not like?
The pacing.
I guess it was a bit fast. I need to look at what scenes they really skipped out on for this episode.
Go to
the top of my head.
Go to the chat,
You
bro.
lost the Lieutenant's meeting.
Dalbog posted a ton of the scans that they skipped. Important scans too, not simple things, like important scans that they skipped.
They skipped Sun her mod thing.
Yeah,
Isabel's
thing.
and stuff like that. They skipped the vice captain meeting, which was like our first introduction to Ruki and Renji. They skipped like some of the panels, which were like really great, which happened in the second episode as well, with Byakuya and Yamamoto at the funeral.
I'll definitely say comparing that Yamamoto scan that is in the manga to what we got of him just standing there and us not even really seeing his eyes. That is a complaint. That was ass. Even if I go to try to see what they were trying to do there, but I don't really fuck with that. I love that panel. That panel is fuck.
It's a great panel.
Let's see here. Yeah, my everything was a bit fast with Yamamoto. I did like it because of the way he was talking that shit, but it was a bit fast. And then
I can't wait to hear what Havoc has to say about that.
For my final thing,
Havoc's never on.
you know what? I'll be cliche with my final thing. I'm just mad that it didn't continue. So you can go ahead, Azrael.
Everyone mute yourselves.
Buckle in. Have fun, stream.
Okay, so first I want to try to get this in a row. So episode opens, Koge and Ichigo. They open the episode with the shot from the last one, and this might be nitpicky, but one thing I can't stand, I hate when episodes open with scenes from the last episode. That's a waste of time, especially if you're going at the pace you're going. There's no reason to even do that. Second, the fight with Ichigo at the start with Quilge is actually really well done. They changed certain things that I don't think are too bad. I would have liked to see Ichigo flex a bit more in the Quincy's like he does in the manga. So that was a bit disappointing, but either way, it was still cool. I love the Quilge's sword looks better in the anime than it does the manga, especially his sword bow. But really like tearing into things that I really hate. So like, let's say we cut out all the talking and all the interruptions from the Quilge fight, right? How much of that is actually a fight? And how much of that is a fight that's not reused animations? You literally probably have about totally 45 seconds of an actual fight between Ichigo and Quilge. And that's so disappointing. Like, this should be a fight.
That's less than Ulquiorra versus Vassal of the Ichigo in the movie.
It's crazy. Well, at least that's actually like there's a fight though between like so Ulquiorra and Vassalori. It's a
and it's
fight.
just an opening.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
an
it's
opening.
an opening. It's not even a fight. It's an opening to the movie, and it's like longer than the fight we got in the anime.
Yeah, and I will say this: Quilge's design after Taguchi and the art team nailed the moment. So they didn't nail Ion. Ion sucked, which hurts because Ion is one of my favorite hollows. Like, Ion is a top 10 hollow for me. I love Ion so much. His animation was poor. We talked about this for well before the lead up to the anime. How many times did we talk about the scene where Quilge uses Sclavere to pull apart Ion? How fucking lame was it in that episode? It's literally a picture frame. It's a picture frame of Ion like half torn away, and then he drops to his knees. It's so... I don't understand why they sped through that. That's a terrifying moment. And they just sped
never
right through
says
it.
a word and becomes a fan favorite.
Yeah, I love Ion's amazing.
I gotta learn how to write like that.
He's like borderline like dog. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So then again, another thing with the Ion thing, they reused a lot of animations. Like, he's literally just like doing the same thing over and over and over again to Quilge, and I'm just like, you gonna turn him upside down and smash him? Like what else? Like, it was really bad. The things that, so as I said earlier, how we know some of these things that got cut out were Kubo and not Taguchi, or were Taguchi and not Kubo, was Taguchi cuts out all that shit he cut out. You know what he replaced those scenes with? He replaced those scenes with goddamn Kisuke Dondachaka and Pesce having a comedy moment, which is an omake. It's not even part of the main manga. What? Out of all the he didn't sit on any of Yamamoto's quotes or anything like that. He doesn't take the time to frame those things, but he has time to add in an omake of a joke scene. Like, that was
the
That's
review that
weird
said they needed
because
more
he cut out comedy.
Huh?
Yeah. He cuts out comedy. That's the weird part. He cut out comedy almost completely in the first two episodes. It's weird that he just added it randomly like that.
And then we have this added in randomly. And then it gets worse. So I'm watching the episode and I'm like, okay, he cuts this, he blasts through the Yamamoto speech and all this other stuff. And then when we finally get to the stuff we were all looking forward to in the actual trailers, the Uryu stuff, it was so lame. Like, it was cool to see the archives, and I was like, oh, Kubo talked about this in Club Outside. I want to see this. And we see Uryu, like, flip through a book and then he throws it. Nothing else. No mention of anything. So then he sneaks into his dad's office, and Ryukin uses the same exact line he uses in the archive. And I'm like, he couldn't have said anything else? And, like, he couldn't have, like... So he says, like, it doesn't concern you. But then he says something that, like, is so poorly written, and I hate it. He says, you're not going to find your answers here. So then Uryu goes to the thing. He finds the Vandenreich book, and then he says the same thing again, and I'm like, so the only other place Uryu can go is the Vandenreich, the one place Ryukin doesn't want him to go. Why would you say that to him? There's nowhere for Uryu to get information from. I get Ryukin's supposed to be a bad dad, but that's a whole other level.
Ryukin just wanted him to Google it.
Did he say he wouldn't find the information here again? Like, Did he say like hereafter again? Because like I didn't notice that part.
I think he says it here again, or he says the other line again. He says,
He
I
said
think
told
he
you not to
says
go
doesn't
it
to
doesn't
concern
Egypt.
you
concern you.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it doesn't concern you.
Yeah. He
But
does
it
that
clearly
twice, yeah.
does. If they're Quincy's, it clearly does concern him. Either way, like he's pushing Udio to go to the Vandenreich, which I
Yeah.
knew was gonna be the thing. But the problem is they did it twice. If Ryukin told him no once and then Udio went to the Vandenreich, that's okay. That makes sense because Udio doesn't know about any other books that he could possibly have. But the fact that he went looking and he's clearly going against Ryukin's orders. Don't you need permission to go in here? Why are you breaking into my office? Stuff like that. Like he clearly is going to join the Vandenreich to find answers. They even dropped a line about his mother, which I appreciate. They added that. But then I was talking to them earlier about the scene where Udi runs past him. It's so poorly animated that I couldn't take it seriously. I did not understand. What else I hate about this? There's so much cutting out the Yama. Like they've cut so much Yama stuff, and the stuff that they keep in, it doesn't have the impact. So like if we were watching the old anime, we would see literally like just the Yama scene with where he cuts off Mayuri, and he's like he let Mayuri finish before he said, "I don't care about all that. Where's their base?" And I'm like, in the manga, Yamamoto does not care about anything Mayuri is saying. He just wants to go to war. And even the scene where Mayuri, like you guys said, where Mayuri is talking about like, "Oh, you failed to kill that man 1,000 years ago," that's supposed to have like a punch to it. Like you're supposed to sit there and be like, "Oh, Mayuri's talking to his head captain like that." He says that line, you see Yamamoto, and then boom, instantly on another scene. And then the way they like intercut everything with the Quilgay fight, like I said, there's nothing. We get nothing of the Quilgay fight. It's I hate the way the episode's paced. I hate the way it's cut. There's like again the only thing that's a saving grace for this episode are the visuals, and then like I want to like the stuff that they added in, but I can't because I feel like it's poorly done. Like Ryukin could have said anything else to at least be more convincing that like, hey, maybe you shouldn't. Like he could have said something along the lines of like, you're not going to find your answers here, but don't sink them in the wrong places. He could have been as vague as that. At least he would have warned Uryu not to go to the Vandenreich. And I know I'm spoiling shit because I'm getting mad and I'm just saying things that Uryu goes to the Vandenreich, but like, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Nah, Udio just goes to McDonald's, my guy. What are you talking about?
And then we talked about the Quilgay scene. They didn't elaborate on the Blute or the Quilgay or the Ishida Uryu arrows. Like, how do you know about the arrows? Like, there's a way to explain it away, but at the same time, it's like the anime doesn't do it, and there's nothing to even imply why he knows. So you're just sitting there wondering, like, what the fuck?
Also, if I'm not mistaken, in the manga, that we see Blut when Ichigo Shika use the Getsuga on Quilgay.
I don't remember seeing it, but I mean, if that's just another negative throw in the pile, throw it on there. I don't know. Like Stasis pointed out, like that reused animation against while he's explaining the difference between Let Steel and the Volstandik. I don't. I get that's hard to do because like you have to try to make the fight entertaining at the same time there's a deep explanation going on, and that's not easy. But here's the thing, like that generally anime is made for the people who speak the language. So they're going to be able to understand what they're saying while they're fighting. For us, we have to wait to the dub for us to be able to not have to read the words and see what's on screen. But for people who've been watching sub for a long time, you gain a pretty good ability to read fast. And that was just so distracting.
Yeah. Also, if you're struggling with well, you know, don't want to waste too much of a budget on like super clean Zanjutsu swings and everything, what you can do, which is what was used a lot in the Fullbring arc, is a sword clash and then an aftermath of it, and then they like pull back. And then, for example, maybe Ichigo starts flying and running away, and then Quilge, they're like basically talking while flying through midair. You can do something like that, or Ichigo just like throws a Getsuga and Quilge, cuts it down with, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of stuff like that, which doesn't require as much hand-drawn stuff. And when they're like flying away, the shots of them are not as detailed, so the drawing and the drawing isn't as hard. Stuff like that, you could have done a lot of stuff like that, or do what Naruto does quite well is like, for example, Ichigo, when they're like flying and everything, like clashing, Ichigo could become yellow and Kuruge could be like a blue light.
Yes,
They
I was
like,
just about to say
clash
that.
and
Yeah.
everything like that.
They did that in the Fullbring arc, in the final fight between Ginjo and Ichigo. It's like Dragon
Yeah.
Ball. They're like lights clashing in the air, and you could still have them
Yeah,
explain
it's
it.
like, yep. You don't have like Ichigo was like black red, and then Ginjo was like purplish pink. So I don't know why they couldn't do that here. They were like, it's kind of like you're using animation, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't like that insane.
So then, everything else. So like now we're in the second half of the episode with like So then like again we go from fight, and then here's this really slow scene with these two characters where Discount Aizen is explaining the war between the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers. And you hear the propaganda version, like the Soul Reapers had endless debates about what they should do, and they decided to commit genocide. So that's great. So, but I was just like, so then the infamous Basby scene, the poorly drawn Basby scene makes its horrific debut. So he smashes the two guys' heads into the ground. Mind you, I find it funny that, like, if I remember correctly, they unleashed their Shikai before Izuru was shot. In this version, Izuru was shot, and then they released their Shikai.
Izuru got shot before. It was the same. Izuru got shot, and then they were like, "Oh, you took a surprise attack before you even like released our power." And then they're like, "Go!" And then they're like, "Release their Shikas." And then they get bodied.
Yeah. I will say, Basby shooting that dude's head off was actually kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of like that. I don't like the Soul Reapers dying like that, but that was kind of a cool scene.
Yeah. Basby was probably like those Basby choreography stuff was probably the best in the whole episode.
I mean, like, I thought so. I still to this day don't understand the importance of Okikiba. I get he's supposed to be like the, I don't know, next in line after Chojuro. He's supposed to know like the paperwork and how Squad 1 functions. But like you still don't even get that in the anime. Like of all the added scenes, like they could have added anything to make us like Okikiba just a little bit more. But he's gonna be an off the side character.
Well, do you know who Okikiba is linked to?
The scene, the one scene I really wish they did not take out. Yuha standing in the air. I love that scene so much, and they took it out. Where they're like, "Oh, who's that up in the sky?"
And he's not in the barrier.
Yeah, he's not in the barrier. And then he's like, and they're like, and the one guy's like, "Oh no, he is inside the barrier." That is an impactful scene that was taken out because, like,
yeah.
Also, him setting foot in the sky, that was taken out because the chapter with Ichigo fighting Quilge ends, and you see Yuha's foot like step on the air, and you see just like Soul Reapers under his foot. Which, I mean, in the manga, like it's the paper medium, so symbolism means a bit more as opposed to like a motion picture. But like the fact that you see Soul Reapers under his boot is symbolic of what he's about to do to Soul Society. Like, I don't know. This episode, like the things that were cut, I can't like this episode. I really can't.
Yep. And if they didn't cut all of that stuff, we could have had the episode end that Yuha's conflict is such a troublesome thing. I think that would be perfect.
I mean, personally, personally, I like the episode ending on Jugram. I like that. That's my dog. I can't. I'm not gonna bash that. I love.
Yeah, but both ways are great to end the episode. But in Juggernaut's case, you need to cut out a lot of stuff, or not focus on the dialogue as much as you need to. Well, Yuha's is also a great way to end, but doesn't cut out important stuff.
hmm So, I guess, what are your scores for the episode?
2.
A 2. I hate the episode. I won't give it a 2.
Objectively, so the added scene with Ryu, it was high, but then it didn't amount to anything. Ryukin was using the same lines, like Ichigo's using the same animation. So then all the stuff was cut out. I guess the only thing besides the visuals and compositing that pulls up this episode is like the material which is from the manga. So not sure if like I should even lower the episode score even more. I will be generous and say a 6.
Mm-hmm. Dio, Stasis, when you guys want to give your...
Yeah. Definitely higher than a 2. Let's see. With all that considered, low-key, I spaced out for like half you guys complaining. But I'd probably give it like 6.5, 7 max.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Okay. Dio?
My dear lieutenant.
What about you, Raid? Oh, wait.
Dio.
Never mind.
I'm probably gonna go 7 or an 8.
7
Just
or 8.
the big moments, particularly, were very good.
Okay. Raid?
Battle Legends?
Right, but
Sleep
stop.
Unohana.
I need to get that I need to get that sponsorship, right? I guess since Raid's
Dio, it's Sleep
checked out for a
Unohana
second.
again.
Son.
I'm looking at the panel of the Ichigo hitting Quilgay. Yeah, there was no Blute present scene there yet. But
No.
the what was it? I'm surprised you guys gave it what you did, because I thought I was being generous giving it a 6. I thought that would be enough to show how much I disliked this episode. I think a 6 is fair, because like as much as I don't like to get blinded by animation and stuff like that, the animation is fantastic in certain parts. The color choices, they're on point.
OST is godly.
Yeah, the music department's killing. Did you guys hear the altered version of what song was that? They
On the of the feet, something like
Yes,
that.
Yeah,
they-
I can
Precipice
spell.
of Despair or whatever.
yeah they switched up Precipice of Despair. They changed it up. I was really surprised to hear that.
They used, I forgot the name of the soundtrack. It's used for Ichigo versus Greninja when Aeon appeared.
Yeah, it was really good. I actually liked that. But then like
Yo,
looking
Azrael.
at
Oh no, continue. I just had an idea.
yeah, it was but just looking at like the rest of it, I can't give it more than 6 points. Like it just barely scrapes average. And unfortunately, this is one of those episodes where like for like one of the few times like those people who say, "Oh, Bleach is gonna get carried by its animation," this is one of the few episodes where I feel like I can say that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say,
Anyways,
Stasis? Mhm.
I was gonna say maybe on your shorts page you could probably find or like call someone to what's the fucking word? You could let out an invitation for someone to join the Discord and write that Bleach D&D campaign for you, since no one's wanting to.
I know, right? I need to get it's gonna be even harder now because my whole schedule is changed now. So
Damn.
I start teaching tomorrow.
Congrats.
Yeah. I'm nervous, but yet like excited to get
The
started.
entire Discord server is gonna show up for you. Don't worry.
I'll say this. Actually, I probably am gonna ask one of you guys or all of you because I have a couple of video ideas. I think it'll be a lot easier if I have you guys pitch in like with your opinions. That way, it'll be a lot easier to write because I'm not gonna have a lot of time anymore. But the yeah, I like just talking about this episode still like going into the future. One thing I want to see changed. And I know it's not going to be the pacing. I mean, at this point, clearly this is going to be the pace of the series. I'd
Until Yamamoto dies.
huh?
Until Yamamoto dies.
Maybe I don't know.
And with how much Taguchi hates him, probably.
That's what I'm saying. I with how much like Taguchi is taken away from Yamamoto in this arc already. I honestly don't know if that fight's going to be... Like, the animation for that fight's probably going to be the best animation this side of 2020. But that rings hollow when there's emotion in that fight. Like, without spoiling anything, that fight goes from seething, uncontrollable rage to just cold fury of Yamamoto wanting to put that man 6 feet under and obliterate his very existence, to him torturing Yuha. Torturing him, literally. And then
pure despair.
Yeah, and then for Yamamoto to like almost have a moment of just like looking back at his entire life towards the end of that fight and thinking on, you can see it in just that one panel that we all, I'm talking about. Like, you see it, like that man had that like moment of like, I lived my whole life. This is what Soul Society, like I built Soul Society. That like this is everything that Yuha is trying to destroy is Yamamoto's baby, and Yamamoto and Unohana's baby, and I feel like all that emotion in that fight's gonna be gone with how fast this series is going. So I want to see at least like for those things to change.
Well, we'll see if they ever do.
Yeah.
On one hand, broken pacing. The other hand, new Brave Souls units. So, take the good with the bad.
I know, right?
At this rate,
I got like 800 orbs. I can't wait to get that Kilgay unit.
Yo, we need to get you know what we need to get? We need to get the fire, so like that blue flame Quincy stuff. That like Reishi fire, whatever it's called, which I need that needs to be a name technique now. That needs to be like an ultimate or like one of the attacks in BBS. I'm telling you, bro. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
If we get that named, that is so going on like some fanfic shit I got going on. It's like the ultimate of my OC. No kidding. No cap. Love fucking Blue Fire.
I returned, my friends.
Appreciate it. Oh, I gave Unohana credit while you were gone.
Yo, Raid, what's your scoring?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
On the episode? Total?
Yeah.
No.
I'd say like an 8.5.
Wow, that's the highest score so far.
I'm not a hard critic.
You're not a hard
really
critic? What?
No.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
In pound scale.
No. He's
said
going to be a
downscaling.
hard critic. He's going to be a hard critic when Kenpachi vs. Unohana rolls around. Then he's going to probably get it on -7.
Hey, don't you mean Kenpachi versus other Kenpachi?
Oh!
Dog, we spent what? I think one day me and Zayed spent like half a day talking to Raid about the scale, how big the Bleach multiverse is. So I don't want to hear Raid. You definitely know how to critique things.
I critique, but I'm bad at critiquing like episodes and like stuff like that. Like I'm just bad at critiquing like work of art, like I don't know, mangas or episodes. I'm not like very critical on my me liking something or rating it high or something like that. I'm really not critical. But like power scaling shit like that, I'm really critical. I'm crazy.
Raid, I guess you lack the knowledge of psychology of ecstasy. No, aesthetic. Sorry, not ecstasy.
Ecstasy. Hold up.
You guys are
Isn't
trying to
aesthetic
get me.
like
You guys are trying to get me kicked
isn't
off.
aesthetic like the I forget like the I forget what the word means.
Yeah, but wait, Alice, you were gonna ask me something.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the whole pacing, and like the emotional impact, how are they going to do Byakuya and Ichigo?
Okay, so we talked about this when we did the review for the trailer. I'm glad you brought that up. I hated how it's portrayed in the trailer, and I hope
Yeah.
I hope that is not what's in that episode, because I think
Yeah, it's
it's gonna
supposed to
make
be
me hate it.
lightning, not as Ryatsu. That's like giving the like the shadows to his face. It's supposed to be lightning. The rain wasn't as visible as should be, despite the fact that the Taguchi's team knows how to draw rain really well, the CGI effects. And I hear the fact that Byakuya's voice wasn't weeping, if that makes sense.
How you gonna comment on the chat and then hop in here, Zayad? Tisk tisk, very evil. But no, like Alex, that's a fantastic point. Like that really is. So I can't stand. So that I know this is probably a spoiler, but it's gonna be the next episode or the episode after that because of the pace. But Byakuya, like that scene with Byakuya is supposed to be very, and this is what I mean. Taguchi cannot do slow moments. Every moment that's supposed to be slow so far has not been. He speeds over them. So I'm trying to figure out when Byakuya is having the most heartfelt moment in the entire Bleach series. How is Taguchi going to treat that? Because if it's like the trailer, like that's another thing. So the trailer is supposed to be how the scene is portrayed in the manga is it's shadowy dark because of the rain and the storm. Like you're not supposed to really see Ichigo. Then when he makes the plea to Ichigo, lightning flashes and you see Ichigo's like how pained and pissed off he is. And now imagine you're watching the anime and Byakuya, who's supposed to be, in the state that he's supposed to be in, is talking very slowly. And imagine him speaking as fast as Mayuri and Yamamoto are speaking today. How bad is that scene going to be? And then Ichigo doesn't say anything and then speeds off.
Byakuya just becomes top 10 people Eminem is afraid to diss at his deathbed.
Like the speed at which people are talking sounds like an Eminem rap song. Like you can't convince me otherwise. The speed at which people talk in this series, it should be its own Eminem song.
Alright, since we got you here, Zayad, thoughts on the episode?
I think it was definitely, James said it best. It was alright. It wasn't, like, groundbreaking. I don't think it was as good as the last two episodes, but, I'll be honest, I just want to get to the first invasion. I don't care what they do. If the pacing sucks these 3 episodes, if we get to the first invasion, I don't care.
You don't have to wait long, that's for sure.
I think
So you don't give any shits about, seeing the Ishida archive,
Like, bro, we got something, okay? That's more than we got in the manga. Like, if you guys saw the Bambietta shot in the 30-second Sternoder trailer, that shot of animation has pretty much just been like my security blanket for the animation of the first invasion. Like, there isn't like the shots of the first invasion so far have been better than anything like I've seen. So I'm not really worried about it.
You weren't here for us worrying about the certain fights and how short they're going to be because we were talking about the Kenpachi fight later and the Yamamoto fight, and like the length of the actual fights in the manga for the Kenpachi fight is about 4 chapters, meaning the Kenpachi fight's going to be an episode, which that
makes
should
you feel
not
better.
be an episode. Mm-hmm.
Makes you feel better. James did say that this episode had some particular production issues that was even happening a couple months ago. So, if we just like take that into consideration, then this episode is kind of like just an outlier. Hopefully, because I don't want any episodes to be like this in terms of the production.
Yeah, let's hope this episode is much of an outlier as Rengoku versus Akaza. That scene when he's trying to cut his neck.
That's a great scene.
No wait.
Or that one
No,
infamous pain
it's
shot.
it's an
Infamous pain shot.
it's an yo, that whole episode is an outlier, to be honest, because the pain fight had such great animation, then the drawing just I'll say the animation itself, like the abilities weren't even that bad, it's the drawing. The drawing was really bad in that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about what really matters right now, okay? Why are they only adding one character per week to the Bleach official website?
We got Nell and Ryuken at least. But like,
Bro,
we
I
could
want
have
to see
gotten so much
Apache.
more.
I need to see Apache. Okay.
For
The
research,
fact
for
that
research purposes.
the fact that Ion's not on
exclusively.
there is disappointing as hell.
Bro, I can't, like,
I'm
I'm
Bro,
hoping that,
Ion
like,
should have gotten his own section.
my guess is after the core is over, then we'll get all of the characters that we didn't have, but, like, I don't want to wait 10 more weeks to see Ion and Apache.
Imagine they do that, but take out everyone who died in the first invasion.
Alright, I'm gonna end the live stream,
Bro.
guys.
Yo, Zed, are you hyped to see Shinsu's Banka in 4 episodes?
Bro, nah, just wait till we see Urahara.